Here's a question that might hurt a little. What if being the best CPA in your firm is actually holding your firm back? Now, I know that your entire career has been built on technical excellence. I mean, you studied hard, passed the CPA exam, built a reputation for being accurate, thorough, and reliable. And that got you here. But the skills that make you a great CPA are not the same skills that build a great firm. And until you accept that, you'll keep working harder and harder instead of building smarter. So, today we're going to talk about why technical excellence alone will never scale your firm and what you need to focus on instead. My name is David Maister and I help CPA firms CPA owners get their time back so that they can run their business instead of being trapped in it. In week 4 of this series, based on David Maister's book, Managing the Professional Firm, we are building towards something important here. So a quick recap of last week, what we covered in week 3 was, we talked about leverage and why it's not about working harder. We define leverage as the ratio of junior people to senior people in your firm. It is not a mindset, it's a structural decision. We ran the math and showed 2 scenarios. The first one is low leverage, where you work 2,000 hours, make 390K, and you're trapped. And the other is high leverage, where you work 1,000 hours, make over 400 grand, and you're free. We covered 3 levels of firm economics. The first one is utilization, that gets you busy. Second one is realization, that gets you paid fairly. And the last one is leverage, and that one gets you free. And we identified why CPA owners resist building leverage. They are the best technicians, clients want them personally, and they think they don't have the time to train people. And the exercise was to audit your billable hours and identify the top 5 tasks someone else could do with training, and that is the beginning of your delegation roadmap. So this week in week 4, we're diving deeper. Because here is the thing, most CPA owners don't even want to hear. Your technical skills, the thing you've spent your entire career building, might be the biggest obstacle to scaling your firm. So let's get into it. The expert's dilemma. David Maister calls this the expert's dilemma, whereby you become a CPA because you're good with numbers, details, accuracy, and you're compliant. And you built your reputation on being technically excellent. And because of that, clients trust you because you're thorough. Your team respects you because you catch things they miss. And that's the problem. The better you are technically, the harder it is to let go. Every time you delegate, you see gaps. Every time someone else does the work, you think, I could have done this better, faster, cleaner. And you're probably right. Meister says, the goal of a firm owner is not to be the best technician. It's to build a system that produces great work without requiring the owner to touch everything. In summary, your job is not to be the best CPA in the firm. Your job is to build a firm full of great CPAs. I'll let that sink in for a moment. Now, there's a huge difference between being the best CPA in the firm and building a firm with great CPAs. And the difference comes here. Craftsman versus architect. David uses a powerful analogy to explain this shift. He says there are 2 roles in any professional firm, the craftsman and the architect. The craftsman is the person who does the work. They are hands-on, they're in the details, they're solving problems. The craftsman, in a CPA firm, the craftsman prepares the returns, reviews the financials, solves the technical issues, handles the complex scenarios. The craftsman takes pride in their work. They want it done right. They don't cut corners. And every CPA starts as a craftsman. That's how you learn. That's how you build competence. But that's also where the trap is. Because most CPA owners never stop being craftsmen. They grow the firm, hire the people, add more clients, but they're still doing the work. They're still the final reviewer. They're still the safety net. And Meister says that a craftsman who owns a firm is not a business owner. They are a highly paid employee with extra risk. The second one is the architect. The architect is different. The architect doesn't do the work. They design the system that does the work. In a CPA firm, the architect defines the processes, sets the standards, trains the team, builds the quality control tools, decides what the firm will and will not do. The architect asks, how should we get this work done? Who should do it? What does good look like in our firm? Where do we ensure consistency? The architect is not focused on this tax return or that tax return or that client's work. They're focused on how all tax returns get done at a high standard without them. Maister's insight is the shift from craftsman to architect is the shift from professional to owner. And most CPA owners resist this shift because it feels like giving up control. But it's multiplying control, and we talked about this in week 3 as well. In week 2, rather. Why technical excellence becomes a trap. So let's get specific about why being the best technician actually limits your firm. And Maister identifies 3 ways technical excellence becomes a liability. The first one is the bottleneck effect. Trap 1. When you're the best technician, everything flows through you. I mean, you're the one doing the final review. Any complex problem, you handle it. Any important client, you are the one on call. This creates a bottleneck. Why? The firm can only move as fast as you can review, decide, and approve of all of the work. In a firm where the owner is the quality control, the firm's capacity is capped at the owner's capacity. So which means that you can't go on vacation, otherwise the firm will not move without you. You might have 10 people working for you, yes, but if everything waits for your review, you're not leveraging 10 people. You're being the final step in 10 different workflows. And that is not scale, my friend. That is dependency at one of the highest levels. The second one is the training gap. When you're the best technician, you do all the work instead of teaching the work. Why? It feels faster. You can knock a return in 2 hours. It will take you 3 hours to teach someone else how to do it. So just do it yourself. You save in 1 hour, right? Well, how many times will you do that task in your career? 100 times, 500 times, 1,000 times. If you spend 3 hours teaching it to someone once, you save 2 hours every time after that. Basically, instead of spending the time actually doing the task, that time is delegated elsewhere because someone is taking care of that task for you. The math is glaringly obvious. But in the moment, teaching feels slow. I mean, and that's why most CP owners never build capacity, surprisingly. They are optimizing today's speed at the cost of next year's freedom. If you're still doing work that you did 5 years ago, you haven't built a firm, you've built a very stable job. The third one is the client dependency. When you're the best technician, clients get attached to you. They say things like, I only want you to handle this. You know, we have been friends. I'm your first client. I'm your legacy client. Oh, can we just take a look? I like when my books just look by you. I trust you. I know that you're going to be the best for me. And it feels good. It feels like loyalty. Client attachment to an individual is a sign of personal brand strength. There you get a double A for that. But institutional weakness. And here's what that means. If clients trust you, but not your firm, you have built a business that can scale. I mean, you don't have a business that can scale or sell. You have a practice. And a practice dies when you do. If a client wouldn't stay with the firm after you left, that's not a firm's client, that's your client. And the more you have your clients, the less valuable your firm is. And you can see this in top firms. For example, take Deloitte. When you hire a company like Deloitte, you're not looking for an individual to do that project of yours. You're looking for the firm, because it's firm, whether you do it right now or a few years later, the quality is the same, high quality, right? And this is what I'm talking about. So the shift that you need to make is, if this technical excellence is the trap, what's the solution for it? So you need to shift from being the best doer to being the best builder. And here's what that looks like in practice. From doing to designing. So stop asking, how do I do this work? And start asking, how should this work be done in this form? This is the architect mindset. You're not solving the problem yourself, you're designing the system that solves the problem. For example, a craftsman will be, I'll prepare this business return, right? And an architect will be, what are our standard processes for business returns? Who is it documented? Who owns each step? Who is accountable for each step? The owner's job is not to do the best work, it's to define what's best, what best means, and build the system that delivers it. The second shift is from perfection to consistency. You see, craftsmen obsess over perfection. This tax return must be done right. Perfect, never seen before. Every return is flawless. Every review is exhaustive. But architects prioritize consistency. They ask, can we deliver good work reliably? Can we multiply? Can multiple people do this at a high standard? And is this process repeatable? And especially emphasize on this last one, because by repeatability, this accesses skill. It also helps you map out workflows, and you can deliver time at a consistent schedule. Now, a firm that delivers 90% quality is consistently will always outperform a firm that delivers 100% quality inconsistently. Why? Because consistency scales and perfection doesn't. The other shift is from personal reputation to institutional capability. And this is a big one. Right now, your reputation is personal. Clients hire your firm because they trust you. But that means that your firm's value is tied to your presence. The shift is this: build a firm that is known for great work, not just your great work. The most valuable firms are the ones where the clients trust the institution, not just the individuals. And this is how I was given the example of firms like Deloitte or PwC. And how do you do this? First, standardize your processes so quality is consistent. Train your team so they can deliver without you. Brand the firm's methodology. And this is not just your personal expertise. And let other people take the credit. Yes, you're not, even though you're the owner, you need to distribute the credit to the team. Give them the team. It also is a way of motivating them. And at first, this will feel uncomfortable. Yet, it's the only way to build something that works without you. So, how do we make this real? How do we make it practical? And there are 3 specific ways to start shifting from craftsman to architect this month. First, document one core process. Pick one thing that you do repeatedly. Maybe it's business tax returns, monthly bookkeeping, financial statement prep. And don't do it yourself this time. Instead, document it, write it down, every step, what good looks like at each step, common mistakes to avoid, where is judgment required. This feels slow because it is slow. An hour spent documenting a process is an hour invested in capacity. An hour spent doing the work is just an hour traded. Think about it. Once it's documented, you can train someone. You can record a loom, put it there. So which means that you also saved your time. That you've not only saved your time on doing the work, you've also saved your time on recording the process. So which means that they just come, and the time that you could have used to train them, they are watching the video on how to actually do it. And it's rinse and repeat. It's repeatable. Second action: stop being the final review on everything. Yes, this one can be hard. But if you review every single piece of work before it goes out, you become the bottleneck. So train someone to review at 80% of your standard, then let them review and only step in when there's true risk. At first, they will miss things, a ton of things, perhaps, and you'll be uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. But here's the key: you coach them after, not rescue them during the task. Over time, they get better. Practice and practice brings improvement. And with that, you get your time back. The last action is let someone else run the client meeting. So pick one client relationship where you're the primary contact and transition it, not all at once, but deliberately, like weaning a baby from milk to solid food. Start by having a team member join the meetings, then have them lead meetings while you observe. Then, when they become good, step out entirely. It's okay. The best way to build institutional trust is to let clients experience great service from other people other than you. Will some clients resist? Maybe. But the ones who value the firm, not just you, will adapt. And those are the clients you want anyway. So here is the hard truth. The thing nobody tells CPA owners is your technical skills got you here. Congrats. Kudos for you. But don't get you to the next level. The skills that made you a great CPA are attention to detail, risk avoidance, personal accountability, technical mastery. But the skills that build a great firm are delegation, process design, tolerance for imperfection, strategic thinking. These are an entirely different set of skill sets. And most CPA owners try to scale their technical skills instead of developing their builder skills. The best technician in the firm is often the worst person to lead the firm because they can't stop doing their work. And that may sound like an insult, but it's not. It's a recognition that leadership is just a different job. And if you want to build a firm that works without you, you'll have to accept that as the firm owner, the firm leader. You set the pace. You're the captain of the ship. So here's what we've covered. Week 4, why technical excellence will never scale your firm. The core insight is the skills that make you a great CPA are not the same skills that build a great firm. The expert's dilemma. The better you are technically, the harder it is to let go. But your job is not to be the best CPA in the firm. It's to build a firm full of great CPAs. Then we talked about the shift from being a craftsman to an architect. A craftsman does the work. Architects design the systems that do the work. Most CPA owners never make this shift. They grow the firm but stay in craftsman mode. Why technical excellence becomes a trap is because first, the bottleneck effect. Everything waits for you. You are the final reviewer. The training gap. You do the work instead of teaching it because it feels slow. It feels like, maybe I can do this another time. Client dependency. Clients are attached to you, not the firm. So the shift that you need to make is from going to doing to designing, from perfection to consistency, from personal reputation to institutional capability. And 3 practical actions for you this week are: first, document core processes this month. Stop being the final reviewer on everything and let someone run a client meeting. It's also an amazing opportunity for them to learn what you do. The hard truth is, your technical skills got you here, but they won't get you to freedom. You have to develop a different skill set, the skill of building. And that starts by accepting that the best technician is not your job anymore. You've now transcended to the next level. And your job is to build a firm that produces great work without needing you to touch everything. So, next, we're moving into month 2 of this series, and things are about to get structural. I'll upload twice a week on Sundays and Wednesdays or Thursdays. And here we're going to be talking about the partner mindset shift from doer to owner. Because here is the reality. Most CPA owners still think like senior accountants who happen to own the business. They're doing owner level work maybe 10% of the time, and senior accountants work the other 90%. And that's why the firm doesn't grow. And next, we're going to break down what ownership actually requires, the difference between billable work and ownership work, how to redefine your role so that the firm can scale. And this is where we start talking about structure, systems, strategy, not just mindset. And it's going to be a huge one. But before then, do this week's exercise. Pick one core process that you do repeatedly, document every step, every standard, every detail. And that's how you start building institutional capability instead of personal dependency. Alright, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and now go and design your farm.